Hello students, today to this video we are going to see what the electrolytic capacitors are. In the previous video we have already seen non-electrolytic capacitors, and the specialty of non-electrolytic capacitors was they were having no polarity. So they can be connected in circuit in either way or either direction. But here in electrolytic capacitors, they are basically the polar capacitors having polarities. Means whenever these electrolytic capacitors are to be connected in the circuit, the positive and negative of the capacitor must be taken care of. So here you can see how exactly the electrolytic capacitor looks like, and this is the internal structure of the electrolytic capacitor. Here positive aluminum plate you can see at the bottom, which is shown by the dark line. Then the oxide film is deposited electrochemically on this aluminum plate, and the negative plate is made up of borax material, actually electrolyte borax, and in between this negative plate and this oxide layer there is a gauge saturated with electrolyte, and this entire part from here to here it's treated as a negative terminal of the capacitor, and this entire sandwich finally rolled into a cylinder and two terminals are taken out, one positive and one negative, and that makes the electrolytic capacitor in short. Now we will go in much details of it. It uses electrolyte like borax or carbon salt as a negative plate, means this one, while the positive plate is made of an aluminum metal. Electrochemically deposited molecular thin film of Al2O3, that is aluminum oxide, on the surface of anode is used as a dielectric. So here you can see this part is basically Al2O3, that is aluminum oxide film, and it is molecular thin, so much thinner film it is, and it is deposited by the process of electrochemical. So electrochemical process is used to deposit this thin film on the surface of anode, that is positive plate, that is made up of aluminum. So this works as a dielectric basically. Electrolyte of borax, that is phosphorus or carbonate, that is absorbent gauge saturated with electrolyte, is kept in contact with the dielectric. So in contact with this dielectric, this gauge saturated with electrolyte is kept in contact, and aluminum plate is just a contact with the dielectric, which forms the positive plate of or positive terminal of the capacitor. Now, so far the construction is concerned, we have seen what are the different parts associated in this electrolytic capacitor. Once this sandwich is formed with different layers like positive aluminum plate, then Al2O3 electrochemically deposited, thereafter the gauge saturated with electrolyte, and then the borax material. So once this sandwich is formed, this total sandwich is rolled into a compact cylinder and placed inside a metal can for the durability purpose. This enclosing cylinder having contact with outside metal foil of the capacitor serves as a negative terminal, as you can see here, and which is depicted on the surface as negative signs. So this is negative, means this is a negative terminal. The remaining terminal is positive terminal, that is the anode terminal. Outer metal cylinder generally enclosed in a paper tube to insulate it. So far the features of electrolytic capacitors are concerned, due to very thin dielectric film, this capacitor possesses very high capacitance, and that may be from 1 microfarad to 10,000 of microfarad in a very compact size. Here electrolyte is a negative plate and hence are polarized type, that is having polarity, positive and negative. If polarity is not maintained while connecting it in the circuit, the capacitor may get short or overheated due to excess leakage current through the dielectric. Reverse polarity means connecting the capacitor in the circuit in a reverse way, that is positive connected to negative and negative connected to positive. It may causes the gas formation and there are the chances that capacitor may get explodes. So far the applications of electrolytic capacitors are concerned. They are used as a coupling capacitor to couple the different stages of the amplifier. Then for storing energy, which is the basic purpose of the capacitor. Then in biasing the circuits also it is used. In motor as a start capacitor and run capacitor because it is basically the energy storer. It is also used to improve the power factor, that is losses. Cascade amplifiers. Cascade amplifiers means number of amplifiers connected one after the other. In timing circuits also they are used to select or measure the time. In filter circuits of power supplies to remove AC ripples or unwanted AC, and they are also used as a blocking capacitors. So these are the different advantages or applications of electrolytic capacitor. I hope the idea behind the construction of electrolytic capacitors, why they hold the polarity, what are the precautions to be taken while connecting them in a circuit, and their characteristics and applications are clear to you. Thank you.